Live to the intersection of Bathurst and Shepherd. That's where Toronto's deputy mayor and other city officials are kicking off construction season. We'll listen in live.
We're continuing to install smart signals that use real-time data and intelligent algorithms to automatically respond to changing traffic patterns on the street and dynamically adjust signal timing to improve traffic efficiency. There are currently 59 smart signals installed across the city, and we're planning 30 more installations this year. Lakeshore Boulevard, for example, will have smart signals by the end of the year. For now, the traffic signals along this busy route have been upgraded to give staff the ability to remotely control and adjust each signal's timing as necessary. We also have Bluetooth technology that monitors travel times, giving our staff better data to make traffic management decisions. The Intelligent Intersections program that we kicked off last year is improving the safety of pedestrians and people cycling by using a set of technologies to provide high-level, real-time data, give staff more information to problem solve and create signal timing strategies to keep people moving. There are 30 intersections that have been outfitted so far, and we're adding an additional 80 this year. Our city traffic agents are back in higher numbers. They're being deployed to intersections where they're needed most, during the morning and afternoon peak periods primarily. They effectively manage the movement of all road users, reduce delays, and improve safety. Construction hubs continue to play an important role in logistical planning. Each hub's coordinator reviews construction management plans, connects travelers with real-time information, collaborates with our enforcement officers, and communicates the impacts and changes of daily construction to the local businesses and communities in the neighborhood. So we're working to minimize traffic congestion as much as possible, but we also recognize that construction, all the events that we're hosting, and the increased number of people using our road network can lead to delays. Because of this, we're taking several measures to improve traffic flow around major venues in Toronto as events resume with increased frequency in the coming months. We will continue to use this effective traffic management strategy outlined in the city's Move TO plan, our congestion management action plan, to facilitate this. And we're prepared for this year's construction, the increased traffic volumes and the associated congestion, and we're committed to doing everything that we can to help all road users get around the city safely and as smoothly as possible. That said, I do echo the Deputy Mayor's advice. If you're traveling downtown or near construction zones, please give yourself extra time. Consider taking public transit, walking, or cycling, and follow signage to keep yourself and others safe. Thank you above all for your patience as we get through this busy construction season and really have incredible investment in our growing city. And now I'd like to hand it back to Deputy Mayor McKelvie for questions. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Were there any questions?
Where are we at with that in terms of making those tough calls and which things like what we're looking at here could be affected by the budget?
So this year's construction projects are not at risk. We have made provisions in the 2023 budget to ensure that we have reserves that we can use should funding not come forward by the provincial and the federal governments to help us with our 2023 shortfall. The big risk will be for 2024, and there will be very hard decisions that have to be made next year about what projects need to be paused or canceled. We continue to call on the province and the federal government to help us with the shortfalls that we have arising because of the lingering impacts of the COVID-19 pandemic. Those costs relate to operating of transit. We continue to operate 91% of the public transit with 70% of the ridership. Being so highly dependent on the fare box, we need funding from the other levels of government, and the other is for our shelter system. We want to help house our most vulnerable. We expanded the shelter system over the last few years to accommodate our vulnerable populations that needed shelter. We need help to operate those. So I am confident we can get through this year's construction season with the funding available. Next year's projects are very, very much at risk if the province and the federal government don't step up to help. Yeah, state of good repair is very important. We need to maintain the road network that we have. We need to continue to operate the transit that we have to ensure that the TTC is in a state of good repair as well. And you're right, politicians, we tend not to care about state of good repair. I do, sometimes others don't, because it doesn't involve ribbon cuttings with big fancy scissors. But state of good repair really is where it's at with construction. It is the important work of our city employees like Barbara Gray and Judy with construction services that are with us here today. And so state of good repair is many of the projects that we're talking about today. So very, very important and vital to our city. Sorry, I'm just going to ask David if you can you help repeat the question? Okay. The question is about the state of the repair and if it's because of delayed maintenance over time. So I'll leave that with you. Okay, sure.
Thank you. So, in a city as big as Toronto, there's always more work to do than we ever have the budget to do. But we work very, very closely with our finance folks and with our engineering team to be able to plan. As Deputy Mayor said, we plan 5 years in advance. We have a 10-year capital plan, and we try to leverage the investment that we have as best we can to get the most out of the dollars. So you will see a pretty aggressive construction season. We've had a lot of construction work every year for at least the past 5 and for many years before that. We try to be as smart as we can, as we talked about, combining those projects so that in addition to having the least disruption in neighborhoods, we're also helping the dollars go as far as we can. But there's always going to be more that needs to be done in any given year than any city will ever be able to get to. Yep. Yeah, so the question is, how do you prioritize the projects? And we have actually a lot of different methods for prioritizing projects. We start by looking at the infrastructure and understanding what is in, getting to poor condition. Because if we can get to the infrastructure sooner and repair it, so for example, if you resurface a road, it will last longer. If you have to reconstruct it, it is more impactful in terms of construction. It takes longer and it's a lot more expensive. So we have a lot of data about the state of our assets, and we drive a lot of that decision based on the state of our assets and what we can, how we can best invest the dollars to make the assets go farther and have to do less maintenance. As everybody knows, and the Deputy Mayor said, we've already filled 80,000 potholes this year. We're always going to have that kind of a short-term.
All right, city officials updating their effective traffic management plan in light of the beginning of construction season, saying that they will do their best to keep the city moving with smart traffic signals and other strategies.